As I finished the World War II Lou Smith project that I started in 2001, it was number one on my bucket list. I look back to the year 2001. I think Lou knew he was coming to the end of his life, and he wanted to pass on the pictures he had taken in the South Pacific to his children and grandchildren. Part 4 contains pictures that show the war winding down. The Philippines has been recaptured. There's more free time, more interaction with the natives, including dances held by a local family. There are pictures of the destruction due to war, the destruction of Manila, and downed airplanes. Lou explains the different types of planes used in the Pacific during World War II. He also shows a modern aircraft, comparing it to the World War II aircraft. The atomic bombs are dropped on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Japanese surrender, and there are floats and parades in Manila. Lou talks about the other members of his family who also were in the service. Lou comes home to Scandia, Kansas, and then takes a train for Boston, Massachusetts, to marry Millie Dubay. I am grateful that Lou shared his World War II experiences. A lot of World War II veterans were reluctant to share their experience. We did this together back in 2001, and I was always a little bit disappointed that I could not get people interested in it. I guess it was the wrong media and too close to his death for everyone. This story is your story, Lou, and I admire and love the effort you put into this project. I hope as you look down from up above that you're pleased at how I presented it, even though it is 21 years after the fact. Thank you for your service, Millie and Lou Smith, and for the privilege of being able to love and know you. Rest in peace. Both of you serve your country and your family well. Another of our evening gatherings.
This shot here, one of our buddies had a birthday, so we got the bakers to make a cake for us. The only thing, we had him first frost a nice cardboard box, and we gave that to him, which he tried to cut. And when the knife kept slipping, he knew something was wrong. So after that, we finally broke out the cake and gave it to him, which will be the next photo that you'll see.
Birthday cake. This is the actual birthday cake we had for the previous photo. Officer in charge of Liberty Party. Getting last-minute instructions before boarding plane for weekend on island of Cebu.
On Cebu, there was a family, Dr. Gonzalez and his family. They would open up their house each weekend to the sailors coming over there for this R&R, and the local girls around the town there would come in, and they brought in the local Philippine band, and they'd have dance for the service guys, and a big spread of food after the dance in the evening.
Dr. Gonzalez and family. This is the family who opened their home each weekend to the Liberty Party for a dance. Burial place of Magellan the Explorer. One of the fellows buying souvenirs to take home.
This cake here had a little story behind it. This fellow, when he turned 21, his mother wanted him to have a birthday cake. So she contacted President Roosevelt at that time and told him her son was in the Navy in the Pacific, and she wanted him to have a birthday cake for his birthday. President Roosevelt contacted the Bureau of Personnel. Personnel contacted the fleet commander. The fleet commander got a hold of the base commander, and the base commander came down to the chief baker. And the chief baker and his baker made this fellow this huge mammoth cake for his birthday.
One of our kosas that was discovered in the jungle. The first B-29 we had seen visited our area. B-29 tail section. After Japan surrendered, they had a big parade on the island. Women with their fancy dresses all dressed for the parade. Another one of the parade floats. Another one of the parade floats. Part of Manila. Aerial shows some of the destruction done to Manila. Aerial shows some of the destruction to the city of Manila. One of the docks in Manila shows a number of our ships tied up.
Shortly after Japan surrendered, they sent a delegation to Manila to meet with MacArthur. This is a delegation going up to his office, and when they had landed in Manila, MacArthur had sent some of his tallest generals down to meet them at the plane and escort them to his office. This is the formal signing of the surrender terms aboard the battleship Missouri. This is Admiral Nimitz signing the terms, and standing behind him to the left is General MacArthur. In the middle is Admiral Halsey. The gentleman to the far right standing, I don't recall what his name was.
Our fleet in the harbor of Tokyo for the signing of the surrender terms. Mount Fuji in the background. Another photo of the signing of the surrender of Japan, taken from the Navy archives. F-18 jet fighter, the modern plane of today, which we did not see in 1942.
This is a shot of an plane called the SB-2C torpedo bomber that they're loading a torpedo on aboard one of our carriers. And this is the type of plane that I also have flown many hours in. But you notice the three-bladed prop on the front of this didn't compare to the jet fighters that they've got today. This was courtesy from the Navy archives also.
Hellcat fighter. The Grumman F-6F Hellcat is an American carrier-based fighter aircraft of World War II. Designed to replace the earlier F-4F Wildcat and to counter the Japanese Mitsubishi A6M0. It was the United States Navy dominant fighter in the second half of the Pacific War.
This was the F-4F Wildcat, a similar version but scaled down smaller to the F-6F. It had folding type wings, and they used it a lot on the escort carriers because of the capable of folding the wings and being able to place a good number of them on the decks. This plane was the F-4U Corsair, which we thought was a fast plane in our days. The plane was usually armed with 4 guns. 2 were synchronized through the propeller, and 2 are mounted in the wing. This plane only had a speed capable of over 400 miles per hour, and it had the gull-type folded wings. My sister-in-law, Bonnie, who was stationed at Pensacola, Florida, Bonnie worked in the crypto department, deciphering secure communication that they received. My brother Eugene, who after high school also joined the Navy, and he served on board the USS Tara, the carrier, and this was during the Korean conflict, where he was an aviation mechanic. Ironically, of all the time that he was in the service, we cannot come up with a picture of him in dress uniform. This is the only picture that he had anybody take while he was in the service, I guess. My brother Harold, who left high school in his senior year, enlisted in the Navy, was a gunner's mate second class, and served throughout the war on the aircraft carrier USS Coral Sea. This is the flight map of part of the Pacific, the area that we did a lot of flying over, and the map that we carried with us. It shows a lot of places that I've landed on and have been. I recall a lot of memories while looking at it. I was stationed here on Samar when we dropped the atom bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Early in December, I received my orders to return to the good old USA and boarded a carrier out of the Philippines. About January the 3rd, 1946, I boarded the train out of Scandia, Kansas, and arrived in Boston, Massachusetts, January the 4th, 1946. On January the 6th, 1946, Millie and I were married at the Church of the Holy Spirit in Mattapan, Massachusetts.